Permission request received.
Yeah,
Accept.
that's right.
Yep, I accept it.
Okay, let me take over here. Okay, so today we're going to talk about Windows 11. So you have an idea what it does and what kind of features it has and what kind of stuff you could do with it.
Okay, is that what's on my computer, Windows 11?
That is correct.
Okay, good. I'll just be quiet and listen to you.
No, it's fine. It's fine. No problem. See, if I click on Windows version, it should give you. Hold on a second.
How did you get to Windows 11?
Are you?
Oh, you're okay. So, wait.
It's right there. Windows 11. See that?
Yeah, but how did you get that window to come up?
You got to click Window. That's something you don't really need to know because that's for more for technicians. Like if this is I'm not teaching you how to program. I'm going to teach you how to yeah, I'm going to teach you how to use the operating system. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if I teach you programming, then it's going to be tougher for you to understand the whole thing. But the way you check your operating system, let's say if you want to check the different way, you see this PC icon right here? You see it?
Yeah.
You right click on the mouse,
Okay.
you go to properties, and then it tells you what kind of operating system you have. See this right here, Windows 11, right in the center? Windows specification, Windows 11, right?
Yeah.
See that right there? And then this tells you what kind of computer you have. You have a Dell XPS i7 with 16 gigs of memory.
Uh-huh.
Okay? It's giving you the kind of computer you have, which is a very powerful computer. Okay?
Okay.
So by me telling you about the registry, it's not going to help you much. The registry is not important at this point.
It's okay, but you know what, Caesar?
Yeah,
You have to understand, I'm at ground zero right now. So, I know nothing.
I know. I know. That's why I'm swaying from teaching you what the registry is or how do I got to that level where I showed you. It's not important.
That doesn't confuse me at
Oh,
all. I'm just trying to soak everything up.
okay, I get it. Okay. Okay, so this is called the desktop. What you see in the front, it's called the desktop. Okay? What you see, the bottom bar, see this bottom bar? Not this one, but this bar right here, this gray bar, light gray bar. It's called the task manager, task bar. Okay?
Okay.
This is the task bar. The task bar usually has linked icons, like all the icons that you need to run. Like in this case, let's say if you have Office, you could link it by right clicking and you pin it to the taskbar. See that? See, once I pin it, it's going to go on the bottom. See that?
Oh, yes.
Okay, the same thing with Excel. Right click, not left click, right click, and then you pin it. You want to try it out? You want to try it yourself?
I'm kind of scared.
Why?
Okay.
Click.
Because I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay,
Okay, so,
click on the Windows button.
okay.
This is called the Windows button right here.
Okay, I click on that, and then it'll bring up what? Um, Excel.
Right click on that.
How do you right click on something? On the right, and then it says pin to task.
Yeah.
So we'll do that. Okay.
And then left click.
And then left click?
Yeah, once you right click, then you do left click.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. Good.
Okay? Meaning
Yeah.
once you do right click,
Yeah.
you do right click and then you do left click to pin it. See that?
Um, so then you do it. Does it do it automatically, or do you do it? Like, do I do
No, you it doesn't do it automatically. You have to click it yourself. To unpin it, you right click and you unpin. See that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is called the desktop, right? Whatever color you see here is the desktop, okay? And this is called the taskbar on the bottom.
Yeah.
These are called icons. You probably know that already. Okay? All these are icons. Okay? See, these right here is called the task manager right here. All these icons right here, they're called task manager.
Yeah.
Okay? And the way you could change the task manager, you got to right click on the gray bar, anywhere on the gray bar, from here or from here. It doesn't matter.
Oh.
Yeah, you could click, and then you go to taskbar settings,
Yeah.
and you could change what's on the taskbar settings. And the way you do it, you see that search button right there? This search button
Where?
on the bottom, in the center.
Oh, yes.
See this right here on the very top where it says taskbar items? See the on and off? Check it out.
Yes.
I'm going to erase that search bar by clicking that. See that? It's gone. See that?
Yeah.
And now it's off. Same with the task view. The icon next to it is called task view. You could take it off. You could put it back on. Widgets. You could take off the widgets that's on the side. Let me show you what a widget is. See this? Those are widgets.
Ah.
Okay? The way you take out the widgets is by right-clicking, taskbar settings. This is the widgets. It's off now. So you don't see you don't see the weather anymore. See that? But if I put on, it goes back on. See that?
Yeah.
Like personally, I don't like the widgets, so I disable them myself. It's just a question of preference. Okay?
Yes.
And this is a chat. If you chat with people, you see the chat icon right here on the bottom in the center? You off and on. See that? Off and on.
Where's the chat?
On the bottom in the center. Right here.
With a movie, it looks like a movie camera.
It's a video camera. It's a webcam.
Okay. Okay.
Okay? This is the additional taskbar corner icons. These taskbar corner icons are these. Okay? So the pen, you could take off the pen, or you want it on the pen, whatever. You could also do the touchpad keyboard, like if you want to use a keyboard on the touchpad. And then virtual touchpad. See that? Like a mouse, a virtual mouse. See that in the corner?
Yeah.
You don't need those. You don't really need them. But, so that is for the taskbar. The taskbar is the whole thing that you see from here to here. This is called a widget, taskbar widget. Okay, this is called the Windows button. The keyboard itself has a Windows button. You see it right there on the by the space bar?
Oh, yes.
Okay, next to it by Alt key and Control, between the Alt key and Control key. Press that Windows button one time.
Okay.
There you are. That's a Windows button. See that?
Yeah.
Okay, and then you could take it off like that. You could press it and take it off like that. Okay? This is the Windows bar. Okay, the task bar right here has a Windows button. The purpose of a Windows button is to go and see all your icons, all your software programs, all the programs you have pre-installed. You have all these installed. You got Edge, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Mail, Calendar, Microsoft Store, Photos, Settings, OneNote, Calculator, Clock, Notepad, Paint, Explorer, Movies and TV, and Tips. Okay, this is a summarized feature of the Windows button. But you could click on all apps. See that? All apps above calendar.
Yep.
It gives you a list of all your software. Everything. Under alphabetical order. Okay? Everything's in under alphabetical order. Everything has a purpose. Okay? I'll teach you the purpose of each icon. What's the purpose to use for each icon? If you want to go back, you click on the back button right here. And it takes you back to the icons there. See that?
Yep.
There's a more button.
What does it,
Go ahead.
okay, under recommended, it's an infection transmission.
Those are the most current stuff you've been in there. You've been checking out. It usually keeps a history. Where it says recommended, it keeps a history of files that you open a lot. The history means that the more software or programs or documents or that you use the most, and it's called recommended. Doesn't mean it recommends you to use it. It's just telling you that it's a program that you use the most. Okay?
I see, and it could be a shortcut then?
Yeah, it could be a recommended shortcut. Yes. Yes. Okay. This is your user account right here, Gigi. User account. Usually people have different accounts, okay? You only have a singular account. Usually it gives you log off and log in to the secondary user account. You don't have a secondary because you're the only person that uses this computer, right? If you add another person like a partner or a friend or a daughter or son or whatever, a family member, usually, and if they have a singular computer, they usually add an account, another account, okay? In this case, I'm going to tell you an idea how that works. So you click on change account settings, right? You click on your name first, okay? You click on your name first, and you go to change account settings, right? It's going to take you directly where you change everything. You could put your photo, right? You could open the camera. See that? It'll take you a photo, right? Give it some time. There you are. Hello. That's that. And you could also choose a file. What this does, adjust your photo, meaning that because you have the 247, which is me, you could change it to a personal photo by taking a picture or by choosing a file, like a photo that you love so much. You could add it in here and change this icon here where it says 24/7 emergency PC repairs, right?
It's fine. I like that one.
Yeah, okay. And this is local. The secondary one says local account settings. In this case, you have a local account setting, meaning you don't have to log into Microsoft to log into your computer. You could change it here by signing in with a Microsoft account. I never recommend people to do that. And the reason why, because people forget their passwords and you're not going to be able to log into your computer anymore. So I always do a local, it's called a local account, okay? This is a online account. If you click on here, it's going to tell you to set up an account. I'm not going to do it because we don't want to mess it up, okay? So, yeah. Usually it'll say, once you logged in here as a Microsoft account, then it's going to say, this is going to change. This blue thing is going to change and say, log into a local account instead. Okay? This is going to change. Once you have a Microsoft account to log in to the internet, to log into the computer, this is going to change to a local. It's going to ask you a feature you want to add to a local account instead. A local account are 1,000 times better. 1,000 times better. Okay? Because your Microsoft accounts get corrupted or get compromised, and you get viruses into the account, and you're not going to be able to log in anymore. Most of the
forget it. I'm streamlining, keeping it simple.
Yeah, keep it simple, right? This is your accounts, right? You have one account, one single account, okay? But we're not logged in because we don't have a Microsoft account, so we're not logging into this. So it doesn't matter. This is a local account, okay? The way you go there is, let me close this out. Keep in mind I'm recording this, and I'm going to put it on YouTube so you can check it out again, okay?
That's great.
Okay, so right here, start, okay, your account right here, and then change account settings. Or if you want to lock your computer, you click here and lock it. Or if you want to sign out, you could sign out your computer so nobody goes into it. But since you don't have a password, it doesn't apply. See what I'm saying? It doesn't apply. So these two don't apply. You don't need them because you don't have, you're not securing your computer, basically. Okay, so change account settings again, right? And this will be obviously the photo again. Take a photo, personal photo, or choose a photo from your computer. You click on browse and you look at whatever photos you have, okay? This is a local account, right? Because it says right there, local account, right? And this is manage my accounts. This is if you have, since you have a local account, this doesn't apply because you don't have a Microsoft account. Because if I click here, it takes you to a browser to log into Microsoft. But since we do not have an account at Microsoft, it does not apply. So we close it out. Okay, we close it out. That's if you want to log into your Microsoft account, help with your info. This if you want to log in. And this is if you want to create an account. You don't want to deal with that, honestly. It's a pain in the butt. Okay? So you don't want to deal with that. Keep it simple, like you said. So let's go back there again. Start. Your name. If you want to go there and change some settings, it's up to you. So from there, this is one way of going to this. See this list on the side there?
Yeah.
Okay. That's a settings account, okay? The account settings. So the way you go there is you could either do it from here, where the Windows button is, or you could right-click in the center of the computer, right-click there, and you click on Personalize. Okay? Right-click in the center, Personalize. That would personalize your PC. This is exactly what you saw when you clicked on here.
Yeah, so I wouldn't use that probably.
Well, you won't use it, but it's good to know. It's good to know. Okay? So let's go to the settings, okay? Well, let's go to the desktop first before we go to the settings. This is called the desktop. These are called icons. Okay? These icons, the most important icons in the computer for now, for when you freshly have a new computer, are these.
Okay.
What do these do? I'll tell you what these do. Gigi. This is for your user account, right? You click on here, it opens your user account, right? Your contact, desktop, documents, downloads, drivers, favorites, so on and so forth, okay? This is where you have all your personal stuff. Documents and documents, see that? Photos and photos, pictures and pictures, videos if you have videos, drivers, downloads, downloads to downloads, right? This is your user. This is security, you don't want this. This is your user account. It's called Gigi user account. Okay? Or if you click on here, this is the same as this. Okay? On the bottom there. Gigi use it's called a user account. You have a singular user account because you have a singular person using this computer. Okay? Like I said before, you could include your family members in the user account, or you could include a new user account for any additional people or persons. Okay, so these four icons that you see there are very important. You always need them because this is probably the meats and potatoes of the computer. Okay, so this is called your user account, like I said before. This is called this PC. There's two ways of going in here. You left click first, and it takes you to your local hard drive. That's what this PC is. This PC is a local hard drive. You got a terabyte. You have a big hard drive in here that you're never going to fill up, okay?
Yeah.
So this is where you check your hard drive. Sometimes you click on this PC. If you have like another drive, like a D drive or a USB thumb drive that you connect to the computer, it'll populate right here. Any thumb drive that you have or external hard drive or whatever, it will populate here. Devices and drives. You only have one right now, which is the internal one. Okay, this is the internal one. But if you connect if you connect a USB thumb drive or a USB hard drive or a printer or whatever, the devices will populate below here. Okay? Always, this is where you check. Let's say, hey, can you transfer some files for me? Well, then you go to this PC, you click it, you connect your thumb drive, and once it's connected, it'll say D drive, whatever, and that's where you transfer stuff to it. Okay? That's for this PC. It's called this PC. Shows the disk drives and hardware connected to this computer. That's what it does. This is your user account, and it was created 7/30/2022. Okay? So, so next one, network. You would never use this one because you're not a programmer, but the network is what devices are connected to your computer. In this case, it's off because you have no other additional computers connected to your computer as a network, so it doesn't apply. See, this folder is empty because you don't have additional computers connected to each other. Usually when you transfer files from one place to another, you click on network to access files from a different computer from here.
Is it possible to transfer from my Android to...
No, it's not compatible. It has to be Windows based.
Okay.
Yeah, it has to be. Android is a different operating system. It's a Linux based operating system. This is called a NTFS operating system. Let me show you where does it say that. So this is your local. You click on this PC, right? And you click on here. So you right click, right?
Yeah.
And you go to properties. And this is what it shows you, right? Okay, let me show you again. You click on...
NTFS.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to show you. Yeah, you click on this PC, you right click in here, you go to properties, right? Properties. And it's a local disk and it's an NTFS network system and file system. It's called Network Transitional File System by Microsoft. That's what it is. It's a Microsoft Windows-based operating system. The Android and the Apple devices have different. Android uses Linux with an L, and Apple uses Unix with a U. So they got their own partitioning software.
It's called proprietary.
That is correct. Their own proprietary software or proprietary iOS or proprietary operating system. This is an NTFS operating system, which is the only system that uses this file system is Microsoft. Okay? So let's go to this again. So this PC, you click on it. You have options. Okay? The mouse has two features. Okay? The first feature is to execute. Execute a command. You have the right click and left click, okay, on the mouse. Right click and left click. The right click is to edit. See? The right click is to edit. And the left click is to execute. You click twice, executes a command. You're executing a command. Okay? You don't edit when you execute. You got to separate that. So it's separated. That's why you have right click and left click. If you right click, let's say I'm going to do a right click on here. I'm not executing, I'm actually editing a command. Okay? So this was opens. If I use the left click, just executes, right? It takes you directly to the browser. But if I edit a command, I just right click, and this opens.
Yeah.
You could run it as admin. You could open file location. It tells you where the icon belongs, where is your personal file is. This is where you find where the file is. See, it's right here. See, the list where this icon lies, where this icon, the Google Chrome software is located, and it's under C Program Google Chrome Applications. That's where it belongs. And the way you find that, let me show you. Let me drag this over here. You click on this PC. You click on, see, you got to follow the path, right? Follow this path.
Yeah.
Let's see. This PC, right? You click on this PC, follow the path. The next one is program files, right? Next one is program files. I click on that. The next one is Google. See, right here.
Yeah.
And the next one is called Chrome. And the last one is called application. See, I found the path. See, the path is the same as the other path. That's how you find where your files are. When you're missing a file, all you got to do is right click and find the location of that file. And the way you do it again, say Google,
Yeah.
right click, open file location. That's where you find it. That's where you find it. Okay? So like I said, there's two on the mouse. There's two clicks, right? That's the right click and the left click. The right click is called an executable. Sorry, the right click, it's called the editing command, which you edit. And the left click is to execute a command. So that's when you click and it goes to the icon. So every time I tell you right click or left click, different actions. Okay, like in this case, like each one has its own executable. Each item that you see here, each icon that you see here, has an executable. It has a different executable and has a different editing capability. Okay, so if you click here on the folder, see this is what it shows. Open, pin to access. The way you pin this, if you click here, it's going to pin to this. This is the access bar right here. Okay, so if I click on here, right click on this, pin to quick access. I pinned it. Okay, so now it's pinned. Now it's going to show right here. More, where the hell is it? Yeah, right. So let me see, hold on a second. So here, so you pin it, and then you pin to start. You also do the same, right? You pin to start. That's going to show on start. This is the start button. Okay, so right there. See that?
Okay, good.
Okay, and then you could unpin it, and you go back. You right click, and you unpin to start. Okay, I took it out, and if I go here, it's not there anymore. See that? It's gone.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a quick access to if you want to know where the files are, where the icons are. That's what you do. I usually what I do is I put all the important icons on the taskbar right here on the bottom. All the important files, I will usually put them on here. Like the way I do it is I do Word, which is important. You right click on that and you pin it to the taskbar. And if I left click, it's going to populate on the center. So let me show you. See, it's there now. See that? Those are important.
Why don't we keep it?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Why don't we keep it?
Okay, we'll keep it. But this is the way you do it. You pin it, right? See?
Yeah.
I usually put all the important files, like most of the important ones I use the most, I put them there. I put them on the taskbar so I could have a quick access to it. The only downside, you cannot add Chrome links like this one. Check it out. You could drag it and then you put it here. See? You can't do it. See that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why is that?
Because because you already have the main one in there. See that? See the you could take it off if you want. Right click and unpin. Right? I took it off. Okay. If I want to add it again, I could carry it and I could drag it right here. Hold on a second. See? Right there. See that? No. Didn't work. Another way of doing it is you right click and you go show more properties and then you pin it right there. Pin to taskbar. See that?
Yeah, yeah.
That's another way of doing it. I mean, sometimes
What the, what is that?
it's fake. It's fake. I'm gonna take it off.
Please do. Yeah, because those kind of things, I don't know about. And people like me, right, will fall for any kind of thing that's not quite correct.
Yeah, they want to sell you something. That's what it is. Okay.
Right, right.
So okay, I install these programs. Go ahead.
Yeah.
What did you
What
say?
is the infection transmission thingies over on the right? What do those mean? Infection transmission.
Probably a link. It's an infection transmission course that you put in there.
Oh, I remember. It's the nursing thing.
Yeah,
Okay, keep them up.
yeah. So, okay. So like I said, desktop, desktop has icons, and the most important icons are these four, right? So
Okay.
you have the right click and the left click. The right click edits, right? And the left click executes, opens the folder, right?
Yeah.
So this PC, the same with this PC. Properties, and it shows you everything about your computer. When you right click on your PC, right click on your PC, and you go to properties. Okay, there's other features here, but you don't need them because you're never going to use like map network drive. You're never going to do that. You're never going to disconnect the network drive because you don't have multiple computers unless you have a computer that you want to add in. Then I'll teach you a networking class. But in this case, you don't need a networking class. It's irrelevant at this point. Okay? And like this manage, right? You don't need this manage. I'm just going to show you so you have an idea what it does. This is your computer. That's like the motor of the computer, okay? You click on disk management and it populates all the hard drives you have. You have a singular hard drive, which is a C drive. You have nothing. If you had other hard drives, it'll populate a list of hard drives in this section on the bottom. But there's none, just this one. So I wouldn't teach you this because for you is not important. Like I was trying to teach, yeah, it's not important in your case because you're not going to be a developer or you're not going to be a programmer. Okay, so this doesn't apply to you. You just want the user account. Go ahead.
Other people have more hard drives on
Yes.
their computers.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they do. Uh, Sometimes they have a network drive that connects to the router, and they have an external hard drive connected to the router because the routers, the wireless routers, the Wi-Fi routers that you have in there, sometimes they have a USB interface that you could connect the hard drive to it, and you could access your files from the network to that hard drive on your.
Yeah. So
Uh-huh.
so where you can take your files with you.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. I'm not at that level.
No, you're not at that level. You at the just basic computer 101 basically. It's called basic computers 101. Okay, so this PC, it's important just to access your C drive. Okay? The editing is not important at this rate until you get better until you get acquainted with the executing of different icons. So Gigi is your user account. This is the PC. It takes you to your hard drives. The next one is the network, which it does not apply because you do not have additional computers, or you don't have a network hard drive, or you don't have a network devices connected to a local area network. It's called a LAN network, local area network. In this case, not applicable. Not applicable. Okay? The last but not least, it's called the control panel. This is very, very important. This is where you install your printers, install your devices, make sure your devices are working properly, make sure that stuff is working right. So you click on here and you execute to go in the icon, and this is what opens. Okay? This is autoplay. What it does, I don't think that computer has a CD-ROM. So, because they don't have computers now, they don't have CD-ROMs anymore. Uh, but if you want to autoplay different devices, you could autoplay your thumb drive from here. Let's say you have a thumb drive, a USB thumb drive, right? And on your USB thumb drive, you have music, and you want to play your music. Once you connect it, let's click on autoplay. Once you connect your thumb drive or your USB removable drive, see this? It could be a thumb drive or it could be an external hard drive. You could have your music, and you could ask me to run it, take no action, or open the folder. Okay? In this case, the default is always open the folder, and this choose what to do with each type. So in this case, if you have pictures, import them, like save them on your computer automatically, take no action, open the folders, or ask me every time. Okay? As far as video, same thing. Videos and music and mixed content. Play, if you have videos, play automatically with VLC or play with media player automatically. You put in a video on a thumb drive or a hard drive, you're asking what to do, and you're telling the computer to play automatically. Okay? Or take no action. So I usually leave it at default. Same with music, same thing. Play the music with media player or a VLC. Mixed content could be JPEGs, it could be a lot of other stuff. Same with the memory card in there. Memory card. Memory card is one of those square little memory cards that connect to the side of the slot. It's called either import photos, backup photos, because usually the memory cards is for a camera, right? So you could automatically import the photos or the videos, or play them so you could watch them, or take no action, or ask me every time. Same with that. As far as DVD in this case is not applicable because you don't have a DVD drive in there. Okay?
Right.
You don't have a Blu-ray disc drive either. You don't have a CD, so it's not applicable. If you had DVD, Blu-rays, or CDs, then you could default to what to do on each time. Every time you put a media device in there, you could, like a disc or something. As far as software and games, every time your computer, like you're going to install something, it automatically start installing. Okay? Instead of asking it to install. You could also default it to install or run the program. Okay? Same with an iPhone. If you have an iPhone, you tell the device once it connects it, you could import photos and videos if you have an iPhone. Okay? Those are for autoplay icon. Autoplay. Okay? You're never going to use this, so I'm just teaching you so you have an idea what it does, just to have an idea what it does. Okay? So autoplay. The next one below, we're going to go, we're not going to go diagonal, we're going to go horizontal. So date and time. This is where you change your date and time, right? You change it right here. So the way you click it, you click on date and time. It's giving you the date, same date as here. It's the same date on the bottom over here, on the corner. See?
Yeah.
And the time is the same as the bottom in the corner. If your date is incorrect or your time is incorrect, you're not going to be able to browse on the internet. The computer will tell you incorrect date and time. Because you have to sync the computer with the date and time. If you don't sync it, your browsing, it's going to be disabled. And the reason why it's disabled is for hacking purposes. They want to know when you're hacking. It's not for you. It's for, if there's an investigation, they want to know exactly when it happened.
Oh, I see.
And yeah, and if it's not defaulted, or if it's not correct, then it's disabled. Therefore, you cannot use the computer until the date and time is correct. Yes. Yes. Okay. This is where you change your time zone. This is Pacific time. You could change your time zone here. whatever, city, Hawaii, whatever. In this case, it's automatically defaulted to Pacific time, which is, California time. And then you click on here where it says automatic adjust clock by daylight saving time. This will automatically change the time every time the time changes, like there's a time change, spring forward, fall back kind of thing. This will automatically change the clock on your computer by having automatic default.
Supposedly next year they're going to do away with daylight savings time because we voted to get rid of it, but they didn't do that. So how is that going to affect the computer if we don't have daylight savings time anymore?
Then the hours would never change because most of the hour and the time and the calendar are synced online. Is based on what the internet produces. So it's automatic. It's automatic. What changes the time is not your computer, it's the internet.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So if there's no daylight saving time and it doesn't change anymore, then it's not going to change anymore because it's based on the internet. Let me show you. Let me go in a browser. See, it's called the Network Time Protocol. Okay? This will give you the network time, the correct time frame. So, what time is it? This will tell me exactly what time it is. See that?
Yeah.
Even the date.
That's cool.
And your location. You're in the Carmel Valley location.
Most helpful.
See? So all you got to do is what time is it or time, or just click on time. Same thing.
Good.
What time in London? What time in London? Right there. That's London time.
That's really good.
Yeah. So you want to know an hour? What time in let's say New York? It'll tell us the time. Right now it's 4:27. Okay? So it's 2 hours ahead. Okay? So that's how you know the network time. Network time, you can never change the network time. That's a default. Okay? This is defaulted. So there's no way of changing it, right? Okay? Additional clocks, if you want to have additional clocks, let's say if you're from London or something, or Britain or Ireland or something, and you want different clocks, then you could show a clock for a different time. Okay? But we're not going to do that. You could do up to 2 more, this one and this one. If you want 2 additional clocks, clock 1 and clock 2 and clock 3, the main one right here. That's clock 1, 2, and 3. That's if you want additional clocks, okay?
Yeah.
This is the internet time. See, remember I told you about the internet time or the network time? It's the same thing. Internet and network is the same thing. This computer is set to automatically synchronize with the time.windows.com. So let's go on time.windows.com. Let's go in there. Time.windows.com. Oh, I put a comma. This is automatically syncing to the, well, it's probably down or something, whatever. Yeah, it's down. They don't have that website anymore. They used to have it, but now it's embedded on the operating system, so they don't have an actual website no more. They used to have a website. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. So the time. That's if you want to change the settings. If you want to do it manual instead of this, you could do times NIST.gov. The government. This is the government. This is Microsoft time, and this is the government's time. That's if you want to sync it with the internet time, right? But you always want to sync it to the internet time because that's the correct time every time. But in this case, we're never going to change it, so you're never going to go in here. I'm just teaching you what this does and what's the purpose of this, okay? Date and time. Date and time. So you know that. Yeah. Next one is ease of access center. This is for people with disabilities. Ease of access center. This is for people that
Always
have.
scan this section.
See that? You heard that? So you have okay, quick access to common tools. You can use the tools in this section to help you get started. Uh, Always read the section aloud, meaning this is more for blind people or people that have bad eyesight.
Start magnifier.
See that?
Narrator dialog. Ease of access center window. Start narrator. Button. Start on-screen keyboard. Button. On-screen keyboard makes it possible. Set up turn on or off high contrast when left. Alt. Always scan this section checkbox unchecked. Alt plus O. Narrator dialog.
I'm
OK.
gonna take
Button.
that off.
Alt plus O. Heads up.
I'm gonna turn it off
Exiting
because
narrator.
it's a pain in the butt. That's for people. Go ahead.
Do they have stuff for deaf people?
Yeah, Braille. They have Braille keyboards.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So this is for the settings, right? This is for ease of access for people with disabilities, right? Uh,
Yes.
Use a computer without a display. That's optimized for blindness, right? In this case, this is for blind people. Make the computer easier to use to see. Optimize visual display. Let's say if your eyesight's kind of bad, you can increase. Go ahead.
Yeah, can you click on that and see what happens?
Turn on narrator, audio description, magnifier. See, apply that. See, that's the magnifying glass. See that?
Oh, yeah, that's too big.
Yeah, and you could decrease it.
Because I always use large print books to read.
In that case, you don't use this. This is more for people with worse disabilities. In your case, you have a bad eyesight. The way you do it like this. Yeah. Let me show you how you do it. Hold on. Let me get out of that. You right click here. Right click, not left click, right? And this is I'm editing a command. You go to personalize or display. In this case, display, right? Go display. And this is where you increase the size of the font and the scale. This is where you do right here. See that? It's going to tell you how big you want a text size. You can increase the text size. Right now it's kind of small, but you can increase it. See that? The slider until you're happy with it. See that?
Yeah.
Is it too big?
Yeah, it's too big.
What's your favorite number?
Back. Maybe about 100%. Wait.
Well, 100% is normal.
How about 120? No, that's good.
120 right there. See that?
Wait, let me see.
It's bigger now. See that?
Yeah.
See, let me show you. See that big? How big the words are now? Bigger? I increased the font by 120%. You could reduce it or whatever, This is if you have. Yeah, that's good. You like the 120?
Or maybe a teeny bit smaller.
110?
Yeah, 110. That sounds good.
That's 110. Okay, so the next one is display. This is if you have multiple displays. In your case, you don't have a single. You only have a singular display. That's if you want to increase or increment the displays. You want to have more than one. This is where you go. You don't have but one display, so in this case, it does not apply. Okay, that's if you want to add a display. So that's for this text size.
Yeah.
Okay, and the words are slightly bigger now. You can see them now better, slightly better.
Yeah.
So let's go to the control panel again. Okay, so we're in the ease of access. Ease of access is for people, make your computer easier to use. This is for people with handicaps, but this is for worst handicaps, not to your level. You're fine. Okay? Yeah. The next one, it's Intel. Most of the computers are Intel. So in this case, this is not, we're not going to talk about this because this is not important. Some computers are not Intel, some computers are AMD, so these don't apply. This Intel is the same as this in the bottom. What it does, it updates your drivers for your, oh, you got drivers. You got download the update.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So this is Intel, right? This is the same as, hold on a second, as this. You're improving your computer, basically. Intel is helping you to improve your computer. Yeah. Okay? The next icon, it's called the mouse. Obviously, you know that. We click on that, and okay. So this is where you change the speed of the mouse, the size of the mouse, and the visuals of the mouse. Okay? This is if you're like left-handed, or you could turn on click lock. You click one time and you could drag and drop, but it's defaulted to.
Oh, yeah.
What is?
Left-handed.
Okay. So, but you don't want to switch the buttons anyway because the mouse is in the center anyway.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So if you had an actual mouse, an external mouse, then I recommend you change the settings from here. But since your mouse is in the center, then it does not apply. Yeah. So, and this is if you want to make a double speed, fast speed. Check it out. Let's say go fast, right? And you apply it. Now your mouse is quick, it's fast. See that? You don't even see it.
Yeah.
So I usually default it to like the center, right? Right there.
Yeah.
So you don't need to have that fast. Okay? So the next one, it's called the pointers. This is where you change the size of the pointer. See the pointer? It's white and it's small.
Yeah.
Well, if you click on here, you could invert it and do extra large. Check it out. See? You apply it. Look at the mouse. See the mouse now?
Yeah.
Big, right? Ugly. You could.
I kind of like it dark. Though.
Okay, you could leave it dark. You could leave it large, dark, not extra large, because that's too big. Let's say this one. No, not this one. Let's say inverted, large. Let's say inverted, large. See that? It's a little bit bigger though. So you could do inverted, regular size, small now. See this? You like this better?
Yeah.
Or you like it bigger?
I like it a teeny bit bigger.
Okay, we'll do large.
Okay.
You see it now? See how bigger? Okay. So this is inverted scheme, standard, default, black, extra large, whatever. So there you are. Okay?
Yeah. Great.
Okay. So this is where you change the pointer. It's called the pointer for the mouse. Okay? And then you apply it. Once you change the scheme right here, you apply it, right? You apply it. Okay? So the next one, you could have a shadow on the pointer too. Look, no shadow. If you click on here and you apply it, that's a shadow now. But in this case, we'll just disable it, and that's it. So the next one's called the pointer options. This is where you select the pointer speed. Let's say fast again. See how fast it is?
Yeah, too fast.
Okay, I usually do in the center. Okay?
Yeah.
And you could have a trail if you like. Check it out. See that? See the trail?
Nah.
No.
That's like I'm on drugs or something.
Yeah, hide pointer while typing. The pointer will disappear when you're typing something. Okay, you don't want that. So show location and pointer, press control key. Let's say you lose the mouse. You click on control. Click on control. On control on the keyboard. Click on control. See? Just click on control.
Wait,
On the mouse. Yeah, see that? It's telling you where the mouse is. See that?
oh, I see, because sometimes it's hard to find it.
Yeah, you got to click on control key. See, now you know where it is. Okay? The next one, it's called wheel. You don't have a wheel? This is only for external mice. So this doesn't apply. The wheel is a center button on a external mouse that you scroll down and up, like when you're scrolling.
Oh, yeah.
See, let me show you the action that I'm doing with the wheel mouse. See, it says here, roll wheel, scroll down. See, I'm using the wheel mouse. See that? It's for that reason.
Oh.
Okay, so this doesn't apply until you have an external mouse. Hardware, this will tell you how many mice you have. You only have one, but you have an option of putting a secondary mouse right there. Okay?
But I want a secondary one.
Usually people get the external mouse because they don't like the touchpad.
Uh-huh.
It's installing the brand new graphic driver on your computer. Okay, so this is the mouse, right?
Yeah.
Okay, pretty simple. The next one is called program and features. So what this does is when you add and remove programs. When you get a virus or you get bloatware, adware, malware, whatever you want to call it, this is where you check to see if you have any software that's installed without your permission. Okay? Like PC App Store, like this one's unwanted. So you click on uninstall. Okay, you say yes.
How do I know if I want to uninstall it?
Because this program it looks fake. That's why.
Oh, but yeah, but you know what you're doing, so.
Well, then you never go in there. You call me and tell me, what do you think this is, Caesar? And then we'll just go from there. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I don't think I should go in there.
No. Unless you know a program that you really want to take off, then you go in there and remove it. Right? Unless you know it's something that you don't really want it in there. And you know it's exactly like, let's say you bought McAfee or you bought Norton and you don't want it there, then you go and do that.
What do
Okay?
you think about McAfee?
No, they suck. Both of them suck. Yeah. So, okay. So that's what program and features does. Program and features uninstall or change programs with your on your computer. So that's what it does. Sound?
So, yeah.
Go ahead.
So, can they install programs on your computer without you knowing it?
Yes. But you're protected. Don't worry about that.
Okay,
Sometimes when you go online and they're asking you to install something and then you say cancel, it doesn't really mean it's going to cancel.
oh, Lord.
Yeah, sometimes gets installed without your approval or without you knowing. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Okay, but that's why I removed it. Okay. The next one, it's called sound. Configure sound audio devices or on your computer. So this is you. There's two options to go to sound devices. You go to here, control panel, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It logged off. Let's try to log in again. It's gonna ask you to connect. Yeah, it's gonna ask you to accept because something happened.
Okay, I pushed it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so let me minimize this and let me take this off. Okay, so let's go back to control panel. That's where we're studying right now. So mouse, and then control programs and features is to uninstall programs or make changes. Sound. You could go here from control panel, or you could go here on the bottom. See that?
Right.
You could reduce the volume from here, from here, or increase the volume, increase the brightness from here. Okay, 100% battery. Okay, so sound. This is your sound card. This is your defaulted. You only have one sound card that's embedded into the piece, into the laptop. So usually, if you have other sound cards or like a headset jack or headphones or microphone or whatever, it'll populate here if you have like a headset or something. Okay, since you don't have a headset, so it doesn't apply. Okay, this is recording. This is your microphone. Your device has a microphone when you're recording something. Let's say, let me test it out. Let me go to camera. Let me run the camera app. And you could talk to the mic now. See the key, you could say something and this will move.
Oh, okay.
See that? It's moving now?
Yeah.
Okay. You could configure this and make it to run better or louder. Or you could listen to yourself. Or see, or you could boost it. Right there?
Oh,
Yeah. Microphone. That's more for Zoom meetings. Okay? Yes. I'm gonna close this out. Okay, so this is the first one's playback. This is your audio card, your speakers, and the next one is the microphone. You could edit the mic. You could also edit the speakers by increasing the volume or test it out. See that? It's working. That's how you check to see if it's working. Okay, front and right. You got front and right speakers. You don't have surround sound speakers, and that's done. That's that. Okay. The next one is microphone. I already showed you about the microphone. Next one, sounds. You never want to go in here and change anything, but this is a Windows default sound, so you don't want to change that because it is not important. You got the Windows default sound. If you want no sounds, you just go no sounds. But you never want to go in here. Communications. That's if you have a modem or a fax machine.
yeah.
Yeah, that's if you connect the fax machine to this computer. In this case, it does not apply, so we're not going to use the communications. And this is for the reduction of the sound, because you know how the fax machines sound. They sound really loud, right? Really ugly. This is how you mute the sound so you don't listen to that, Or this is if you want to reduce it by 80%, or that's if you want to reduce it by 50%, or this is if you want to do nothing to it. But I usually leave it mute, I'll leave it at this because you don't do communications anyway. So it doesn't apply. The only thing that's important here, it's to see if the sound is working. This is where you configure to see and check it out. And this to see if your mic is working. Okay? That's it. The next one, it's tablet PC settings. In your case, you have a computer that's touchscreen or something like that. That's if you want to make it touchscreen strictly, but in this case, it does not apply because you're not going to make this computer as a tablet. So you don't, because you have a keyboard attached to it. If you didn't have a keyboard attached, then you could set up the tablet onto the computer itself. But you have a bolted down keyboard, therefore you cannot, I don't recommend use the settings. Some laptops have an option where you could remove the keyboard and the bottom plate. Yeah, right. In this case, not applicable. so it doesn't apply. Okay?
Yeah.
Windows Mobility Center, the next one. What is the purpose of this? Windows Mobility Center adjusts display, brightness, volume, power options, and other commonly known used mobile PC settings. This is where you reduce the display, right? This is where you mute. This is where you check the battery. The battery's balanced and it's fully charged. This is where you rotate the screen. You don't want to rotate the screen because you're going to get confused, okay? So you're never going to go to this. It doesn't matter. It doesn't apply. Don't even pay attention to it.
Isn't that redundant anyway?
Yes, but it's good to know what it does so you have an idea what it does, okay? I mean, what I'm teaching you is every single feature and settings of this computer so you have an intelligent answer next time somebody tells you, what does this do? And you know. Yeah. Backup and restore up to Windows 7. This is where you back up your computer or you restore your computer. So you could set up a backup date if you like. Since you don't have much stuff, it doesn't apply. This is more for companies that have businesses that have databases of people and and accounts and stuff. This is where you do this backup. In this case, since you don't have nothing like that, it does not apply to you. Okay? Or you could, create a system disk if you want to create a system disk, or create a system image. In this case, this is more for programmers such as me. So this is also redundant to you. Default. This is important. So you click on default. You set up your default programs. And you pick which programs you want them to be your default. Okay? And the only thing I change in here, my default, is my Chrome. I set up Chrome as a default. See that right here?
Yeah.
It's defaulted now. Okay? The rest of them,
Wait, what does that mean?
meaning it'll automatically, okay. If I click on a link, it'll take me to Chrome directly to open it. See, this is Chrome. See? See? This is Chrome. See that? So it's open. It's defaulting to Chrome. My main browser, which this is called a browser, and this is another browser. You have two browsers. Your main defaulted browser is Chrome.
Oh, see, I thought it was the opposite, so I must be dyslexic. So I thought default meant it wasn't your main one, and that if the main one went down, it went to a default one. So
Yeah. Yeah. When they tell you you make mistakes by default, that means you automatically make mistakes. When they say default is when it's guaranteed that you will whatever action you're doing as a default, that's what it is. Is it going to rain today? Because it's
I have it completely mixed up in my head.
yeah, like let's say somebody's asking you, is it going to rain today? And you say, because I see that's really cloudy and it's raining like the next city up. And you're going to say, I think by default it's going to rain because we're not far from that other city anyway. So we're going to get that shower. That shower rain is going to come to us. So by default, it's automatic. It means it's going to happen. It's like saying a certain, like your certain browser is Chrome. Your main browser is Chrome, or your default browser is Chrome. Yeah. So this is where you change.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Okay. So this is if you want to change a different calculator. Let's say you bought a calculator, you want to make it use your own calculator, then you click on default calculator, right? Like let's say you paid for some software calculator, then you do that. If you use a default calendar, like if you have Outlook or whatever calendar, you click on here. You click on default, right? What's my default calendar? Oh, it's Outlook. That's where you click. Okay? So next one is camera, you only have one camera, so it's already defaulted to that camera. Same with the clock. You only have one clock. You could change it to whatever, city or defaulted clock time frame is. Cortana, I usually disable Cortana. That's the feature that you talk to the computer and the computer kind of interacts with your voice. You don't want that.
Yeah.
And the next of them are, let me see, Google Chrome. We already defaulted to that. Main calendars, accounts, maps, media player, same. It's just user. This is all explanatory, self-explanatory, based on the software that you want to use. You want to use it as a defaulted software. Because in this case, let's say you have an open source Microsoft Word. Open source Microsoft Word means it's a free Word, right? And then you have the Microsoft Word, the legitimate Microsoft Word. You have an option of defaulting to the original, legitimate, or the open source, which is free. And you default it to the one you want. Okay? Like in this case, if you want emails, this default for emails, there's Windows Mail and this Outlook and there's different features of Windows of checking out your mail, and that's Windows Mail or Outlook. That's just the default. Okay, so this is just user explanatory. So it doesn't need a lot of explanation anyway. But yeah, the next one is associated files and protocols. In this case, you're never going to go in here. So because this is more editing the computer itself, and if you start messing with this, then your computer's not going to run properly. Okay? The next one is autoplay settings. We already talked about that, with the music and the CDs and the auto stuff. This is the same thing as what we saw earlier. Okay? The next one is set up program access and computer defaults. Let's say you're using your computer as a point of sale. Let's say you have a software program that you use a lot. That's, let's say, Outlook. No, not Outlook. Let's say QuickBooks as a point of sale. Let's say you have a store and you want your computer to run a singular software because you use that computer mainly for that software. Okay? Well, this is where you default it to that software to run when you turn on the computer. Meaning, when you turn on the computer, you have a feature of just booting up the computer of Windows 11, but when it boots up, it's going to run this program, this POS, this QuickBook point of sale program automatically without you having to click on the icon. So this is where you set up the defaults to a software that you specifically use every morning. But it's more mainly for people that, like, let's say I have a jukebox that I made, right? A jukebox. A jukebox is like a music carousel, okay? And I have Windows 11 on that, and I have a software program that's installed that plays the music automatically. So what I went in these settings and I changed the settings to boot up to Windows 11, and once the Windows 11 is booted up, then it's going to automatically access the main software that I have for the music. Meaning the first software that's going to open completely is the music software as a jukebox. Yeah.
That's nice.
Because the sole purpose of this computer that I have, the jukebox, is just a music player. Is nothing else. So in this case, let's say your computer, you see all these icons? You right click, and you do this, view, and you unclick here, you have no icons anymore. See that? So you right click again, you go view, show icon, desktop icons. You got the icons back. That's for people that are very OCD and all this crap bothers them, and they just
My housemates that I live with, they're completely OCD.
yeah. So you disable the icons, right? That's one feature. So let's go back to control panel. Okay. So this is default. Okay. So the next one. File Explorer. This folder is the same as the one here in the center. You click on File Explorer. Okay, that's File Explorer. And you click on File Explorer Options. This tells you what to do. It gives you options. Let's say on the General tab, Quick Access, this PC, right? Open each folder in the same image or window, or open each folder on its own window. I prefer having this on its own window. So you have multiple windows open instead of just one. Single click, that's if you have a single, I usually like double click. So I leave it at double click. Okay? So it could be aesthetically with everything you do on the computer that's double click. Because if you start changing single click here, other stuff it's going to require double click and some are going to require a single click, so it's going to confuse you. Okay? This is where you set up a privacy folder. Let's say you have a folder. You want to create a folder. You go, right click, new, folder. This is a new folder, right? You could make this folder private if you wanted. You could put security on this folder if you wanted. You could even hide this folder so it doesn't show anywhere. Let's say you have important stuff in there that you don't want nobody to look at. Then you hide this folder, even though it's right there, but it's going to be invisible. And once you click on it, let's say you put it right in the corner, and you could hide it. You could make it invisible, and you know the folder is always going to be there, and nobody has access to that folder but you. But once you click on the invisible folder, it's going to ask you for credentials, like a user ID and password, right? That's just for your sake, for private sake. That's more for criminals anyway. So it doesn't matter. So we're not going to go there and talk about that. Go ahead. Yeah. The next one is view. What do you want to view? You want to reset the folders. If you have your folders are messed up and they're doing some gibberish and doing some problems, then just reset them, and then they go back to normal. And this is the advanced settings for the folders, right? This is just folders. This folder, whatever folder you have on the computer. So always show icons, never thumbnails. See? You see your Gigi name right there? When I unclick this, check it out. It changed something inside of the folder. See that? If I click on that, it took out the documents in the folder. I usually leave that open so you know that something's in the folder. That little page that you see there, it tells you there's something in there on that folder. Always show menus. Go ahead.
The little what?
See this little folder right here on the top? See on the folder there's like a white little piece of paper in there? You see it? Okay, check it out. If I check this, check it out, and I apply it, the paper disappears. See that? Okay, so you don't want that. You want to see the paper. See? Let's say I create a new folder. Okay, there's nothing in the folder. See that? That means this folder is empty. Unless I click here, I copy this one, let's say. I go in here, the new folder I created, and I paste it into the new folder. Now there's something in the folder. And I refresh. You see it now?
Yeah, but I have no idea about copy and paste.
Okay, I'll teach you that. No, I will teach you that in the further classes. So let me finish with the control panel, and then we'll teach you the copy and pasting and all that other stuff. But I'm going to erase this, so you right click, because you don't need it, and you click on the little trash can right here, and it's gone. Okay? So the next one, decrease space between items. Like, you don't really want to go here and change anything because you want to keep the default ones. You want to keep the regular default ones, restore to default. You want to keep the ones you have original because you're more familiar with that, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so you don't want to do that. If you want to change, if you want to look for some, then you go to search. This search option is the same as the search option on the bottom here. See that search option? That's when you click for anything and you will find anything right here. This is search button. So this is the same as that. So let me close that out. So that was called the File Explorer options. The next one, rapid storage. Intel is the same as the computing improvement by Intel. These two are not important, because you're not a programmer, so it doesn't apply. Okay?
Okay.
This next icon is called the Network and Sharing Center. In this case, there is no network, okay? There is no sharing, and there is nothing. So this doesn't apply for now until in the future if you want to add another computer or a server or something to share within one computer to the other. This is where you go and you share and you network and you share your files. But in this case, not applicable. Okay? This is Network and Sharing Center. Check network status. Change network settings. Set preferences for file sharing and printers. Okay. Next one's recovery. Let's say your computer has an issue or a virus or something. You go into here. But this is useless because once your computer is infected, even your recovery sections are going to be infected. So if you do a system recovery, your computer is still going to be infected anyway. So this feature is stupid.
What about like open system restore if you go back to an earlier date before the virus infected?
Let me see. Let me see. There's the date right there. So this is the day, the first day that it got, I installed whatever. That's the 14th of the last restore point was a month ago. So you click here and you go next, and then you highlight this, and then you finish. It will restore a point on the computer from the 14th of 2023 of March.
Okay, so in that case, would it get rid of the virus?
Yes, because it's going to take you back to the original date, or take you back to the date that that didn't have a problem.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's called recovery.
Okay.
Open system restore point. Configure system restore points if you want to configure them. In this case, let it do automatically what it's doing. See?
Yeah.
Okay, there you are. You don't want to go through this. Just go. The only thing you're going to be using is open system restore.
If necessary.
Speech recognition. That's if you type a lot and you don't want to type anymore. This will do it automatically for you. There was a program that was really popular back in the 2090s. It was called Dragon Simply Speaking or something like that. That you could install on the computer and it automatically types in a memoir or a book or whatever by you speaking to it. Now Microsoft implemented that feature. It's included on the operating system. And this is how you do it. Yeah, see, start speech recognition, set up a microphone, take a speech tutorial, train your computer better to understand you, and so on and so forth. But that's if you.
Yeah, that would have come in handy when I was a newspaper reporter.
Yeah,
Just
right. Exactly. Okay. Next one is taskbar and navigation. This is the taskbar right here. This is the same. This right here is the same as right clicking and doing this. It's the same. It's a shortcut. See? Right click and then this comes out and this opens. Same one. See that? Or you click here. Same one. Okay? Jesus Christ, time just flies.
yes.
It's already 2 o'clock. Jesus, man. Okay, Windows tools. Windows tools. configure, you don't need this. You're never going to go in there. I do not recommend you going in there because you mess up the settings on it. That's why I'm not going to teach you. It's not important. This is not important. The next one that's not important, it's BitLocker. You never want to encrypt your computer, okay? Meaning you lock in your computer and it gives you like 25 characters, and if you lose those characters, your computer's useless. So you don't never want to go and set up a BitLocker. Right now it's unlocked, but you could turn it on. You don't want to do that. Never. Never. See, this is what it says. Help you protect your files and folders from unauthorized access by protecting the drives with BitLocker. BitLocker honestly is a failure because I've had so many people complain about BitLocker when they lock in their computers and they want to either something happens to the operating system, they cannot retrieve nothing from the computer anymore. So it's more like a useless feature, okay? Unless you do it the right way by inserting a removable USB drive and use a BitLocker to go, meaning you will make a USB locking mechanism. So when the computer asks you to access BitLocker to enable or access the files, because this icon will populate as a locked key, padlock. Right now it's unlocked. The flash drive will automatically open the BitLocker. But honestly, if you're a doctor and you have medical transcripts and stuff like that, then you need BitLocker. But since you use it for personal use, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. So BitLocker, do not recommend. Windows Tools, do not recommend. BitLocker, do not recommend. Okay. Dell Audio is the same as the icon that you see on the bottom there for Realtek Audio. If I click here, it gives you features and settings, how to set up the audio. You never want to go in here because you could do it from the shortcut on the bottom on the taskbar. It's better to do it below here than doing it within this crap. You don't want this. This is the Dell proprietary software. You want to use the Microsoft one, which is here. It's the best. Okay? You don't want to use the Dell proprietary. Sometimes it gives you more headaches than anything. Okay, so Dell file history. This is the history that you've done in the computer. If you want to know who went into your computer, who did this, who did that, what kind of history, what kind of contacts, what kind of favorites, what kind of libraries, how many devices connected to your computer, how many thumb drives connected to your computer. This is how you know the history, okay? Since you're the only person in this computer, it does not matter. This is more for businesses where they want to check you out and they want to see everything that you're doing on the computer. Kind of control you kind of thing. Yeah, this is where they use this file history to kind of control you. Yeah.
No, that's not good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like spying on you kind of thing. Yeah, the next one is called Internet Options. This is where I don't recommend you going in there because usually it's defaulted to work, your computer work to the internet. Sometimes you can log, sometimes you do SSL certificates, sometimes you change the connection. In this case, it does not apply because you're never going to go in here. You need an IT guy for that. You need an IT guy for Windows Tools, for Internet Options, and for BitLocker. Okay? Pen and touch. That's if you buy a pen. In this case, you don't use a pen, so it doesn't apply. Like if you're an artist and you want to draw, then you buy a pen and you sync the pen to the computer. Okay? This region is for language purposes and numbers and times and dates and so on and so forth. Let's say you're somewhere in Mexico, then you change the dollar, you change the language, right? But in this case, it does not apply because you don't travel and you don't take your computer with you. Okay? So this does not apply. Okay? Storage spaces. That's let me see. You're never going to go in here again because it helps you protect your files. The same thing as BitLocker. and you have a hard drive that's a SSD drive. It's a solid state drive. The failure on those SSDs are next to nothing, next to none. It will never fail unless you have a different type of hard drive, which is the old traditional hard drive. I'll show you a picture of the old traditional hard drive. It's called a SATA IDE HD. See? This is the old traditional hard drive. So these hard drives have moving parts, have a plate. Okay. It has a disk, has a plate, a disc. See how it looks right there? See this picture? Okay, has a motor, and these are prone to fail, okay, because there's moving parts. Your hard drive, and this is 3.5 inches, a very big hard drive. Your hard drive is an SSD versus HD, let's see. See the difference between these two? This is the regular SSD, which is all memory, and this HDD, it's a motor with a plate and all that other stuff. So the ones on the left fail more, 1,000 times more than this SSD. The SSD hardly fails. Okay?
That's good.
Yeah. So you have an SSD. How you could check to see if you have an SSD drive is you click. Let me show you. You right click on this PC. You go to Properties. Actually, no. Click on this PC. You right click here. You go Show More Properties. Properties here. Hardware. Right there. NVMe. ADATA. NVMe. NVMe is an SSD drive. So say NVMe. See? NVMe SSD. See that?
Yeah.
And that's the hard drive right there. Like this. Just the hard drive itself costs like $140. Yeah. This is the hard drive. Okay, well, it's a solid state drive. They got the 2.5 inch ones, and they have this one. This is a $400 hard drive right there. So yeah, so you have an SSD drive. So in this case, your computer would never break unless you get fire in it or something, or you drop it. But yeah, okay. So that's that. Storage spaces. Troubleshooting. This is more for IT professionals. Okay. Yeah, this like Windows Tools and BitLocker troubleshooting is for IT professionals. Work folders. Work folders is for business. You don't need it. It's not important. It's for databases and such. You don't need it. You're never going to use it. And the reason why you have all these features, I tell you why. You have extra features in here because your computer itself has Windows 10, Windows 11 Pro. See this Pro?
Yeah.
Windows 11 Pro has features for businesses and has better security and has better build quality and all that good stuff. The Windows 11 Pro, yeah, Windows 11 Home Edition, Home, it's low quality, you get a lot of viruses, has lacked features, it's not the best in town. The Pro version of the operating system is the way to go. So when you buy a computer, it's always important to have Windows 11 Pro, because you hardly get viruses on Windows 11 Pro or any Windows 7 or Windows 10 or Windows 13. It doesn't matter. As long as it has Pro at the end, it's a better operating system. Okay? So make sure you buy a future computer, make sure it's Pro. Or have Caesar upgraded to Pro, you know. Yeah. So Pro. So, okay. Troubleshooting is for IT professionals. Workflow is for business folders. Access your files anywhere, anytime. Color management, if you're like a photographer and you're taking pictures, you want to kind of change the colors and this and that, you know, whatever. In this case, since you're not a photographer, you're not going to be able to use that. Device manager. This is very important. This is more for IT professionals, but it's important for you too. And why it's important? Because when you click on here, it populates all your peripherals in your computer. Okay? All these peripherals are in your computer. Let's say disk drive. That's your hard drive, right? Okay? Your camera. That's your camera. Your Bluetooth. That's your Bluetooth. Okay? Let me see. Display adapters. That's your video card. If one device it's failed or a device is not working, then you'll have an exclamation mark next to the icon. Okay? And the way it looks, device manager. Like, see these pictures? Let me go to this picture right here. See this exclamation mark next to it? Where the red is?
Yeah.
That means there's an error. Same with this. See? This has errors. When you have exclamation marks like these, there's errors. So there's problems with the computer. Like this one. See that? See this? Okay. You do not have errors or issues because you have no exclamation marks. So this is where you check to see something's not working right. My keyword's not working right because it has an exclamation mark. This is fine. My mice is not working. My mouse is not working. My monitor, well, if the monitor is not working, then you're not going to see display. But the internet usually gives you an exclamation mark. So exclamation marks are important. I mean, to know that you have a faulty computer or you have issues with a PC. And you find that in Device Manager. That's in the control panel right here. Okay, so if you know that something's going on with the computer is not working up to par, then you go to control panel, and then control panel, and then go in Device Manager. Device Manager, view and update your device hardware settings and driver softwares. Okay, so this is important. These are fonts. If you're like a writer and you want different fonts, add, change, and manage fonts on your computer. Since you don't do that, then like me, I have a lot of fonts in my computer. Check it out. Let me add a new font to your computer, and so you know what it means, right? Let me see. The font. I'm going to add a font to your computer, right? That's not there. Let me add. Yeah, you could add any fonts. Let's say cartoon. Cartoon font. Let's do Cherry Bird. I'm going to download Cherry Bird. I'm going to open Cherry Bird. I'm going to install Cherry Bird. See? This is Cherry Bird. And I'm going to install Cherry Bird. Okay, so that's installed, right? So I click on this. I click on, close that out. Okay, let me just go to font. And let's look for Cherry Bird. Right? So it's under alphabetical order. CH.
I see it.
You see it? I don't see it.
Right there, in the middle. The second one.
Oh, I see it. Right here. That's called the font. You added a font to your computer. How you look for Cherry Bird font? I'll show you how. You go to Word. Let's run Word. Okay. Okay. So let's say here. Let's change this to Cherry Bird, right? So let's go right there. See? You saw that? Okay. So that's how you add fonts, right? I don't want to save it. Yeah. So that's how you add fonts in there.
Sweet.
Yeah. So fonts. Keyboard layout. Customize your keyboard settings. So if you want repeat delay, short and small. If you want this cursor to blink faster, check it out. See that? Yeah, like that, right? And then hardware. This is your keyboards, right? You don't change nothing. So you don't really need to go in there and change anything anyway. It doesn't apply. Modem. I know this class is boring because I'm just teaching you the basics for now, but later on we'll interact back and forth. I mean, you have to know.
I'm not sounding bored.
Okay, but I know that it's boring. This is a boring class. We're gonna make it funner next time. But I'm just teaching you the basics. You have an idea what features do whatever, and then we'll go back and forth, and you already have an idea what that do, what it does, what's the function, the features and stuff. So keyboard. Next one is called phone and modem. This doesn't apply anymore because you don't have a fax machine connected to the computer. Back in the day, in the 90s, stuff used to have a modem and used to connect to the internet via modem. You don't do that anymore, so it doesn't apply. Remote app. This is almost like any desk. This is a proprietary software that Microsoft has, but it sucks and nobody hardly uses it. Okay? This program is remote app desktop connections to connect remotely, which it doesn't apply. Sync center. That's if you want to sync two computers together, which it doesn't apply, so you're not going to use that. Next one is called user accounts. That's where you add, remember we talked about the user accounts and you could change and add a few and add more? Well, you can manage another account or you could create a new account. See, add a new user if you want to add an additional person. In this case, you only have one user, so it doesn't apply. This is not important unless you share your computer. In this case, leave it at that. No need to go in there. Okay. Credential manager, it's also for databases, for work folders. You're never going to use this unless there's Access, Microsoft Access, and other programs you could use better than this crap. Credential manager, you don't need that. This is important. The next one is very important. It's device and printers. So you click on that. This is where you add your devices. Let me remove this. This is my phone. You don't need it anymore. Because I had my phone connected because I did the Wi-Fi on my phone. So okay, yeah, there you are. You don't need these two. So this is where you add a printer, add a device. See, trying to find your printer. It's finding all these devices. I don't know why. It's asking me. Okay. Oh, see. So Lady Laura, that's a Fire Stick, whatever. But it's finding devices. So yeah, that's where we add devices, or that's where you add printers. Same thing.
Well, I'm going to add printer later. Because I'm always going to Postal Annex. So.
Oh, to print?
Yeah.
Do you have a printer in the house?
I do, but I don't know how to sort of work it. So.
Okay. 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 Well, this is where. Go ahead. Okay.
I might get a new printer, a smaller one.
Okay. Well, we can help you remotely to connect to it. I'll show you how to do it.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, this is for the printer. This is where you add the printer. Indexing options is also for databases and credential managers and work folders. Not applicable. You're not going to use this. As far as Microsoft Outlook, it's not applicable either because you don't use it. Okay? Yeah. What it does is for mail, for business mail and stuff like that. In this case, it's not applicable. Power options is important because you have a battery there, so you could change the plan. And I said turn off the display never when it's plugged in. Never. I always do default to never because I hate it when the computer goes to sleep. I hate it. So I always do never, 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 never. That's what I use. That's my settings. because you want your computer to be up and running every time. Okay, so that's power options, and then you save. And then you could also change your power settings. It could tell you when you turn off the computer. It could tell you never, Internet Explorer. You know, all these features. When to go to sleep. You know, sleep after a certain time frame. Never. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So all that stuff. So that's for power options. Security and maintenance. This is more for like antivirus. You already have an antivirus, so it doesn't apply. This is a Windows-based antivirus. You don't want to use it. Doesn't important. It's not important.
No, when I turn on the computer and the warning thing comes on and says, buy this antivirus, I'll just get rid of it, right?
Yeah, right. Because they want you to buy stuff.
I know.
Yeah. Next one is system.
Yeah.
Next one is system. It's system. You click your system. It's one way of going in there and checking the system, or the other way of going in there is by right-clicking on this PC and go to properties. Same thing. Same thing. See that?
Yeah.
So that's a shortcut, properties, and this is another one. So, okay, fonts. Let me close fonts, and the last one, but not least, is Windows Defender Firewall. I usually disable the Defender because it sucks because everything's a virus to Defender. And sometimes you're trying to go to a website, like a governmental website or something, and it doesn't allow you to go in there because the Microsoft tells it it's a virus or something. So I usually disable the firewall. I always do that. That's what I do.
Because I do have a virus protector, right?
Yes. Yes, you do. So I usually disable the firewall. You don't need it. So, yeah. And, but you never go in here. System, the only time you go to system to see if you have any exclamation marks, any errors on the computer. Power options to change the power settings on the computer. Just a quick rundown. Pretty much self-explanatory. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the video on YouTube, and I'm going to send you a link on your phone. And if you forgot something, I know this is kind of boring, but it's good to know what every device here, every icon here does, because it's very important. Okay?
Keep it up on YouTube in case I need to. I forget it.
No. I'm put it on my channel, so it's always gonna be on YouTube. I'm never gonna remove it. So I'm gonna stop recording. So we're done for now, and then we'll just reconvene on Wednesday. Go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Caesar.
No problem. We'll